Good evening, Bruin fans, and welcome to another edition of Something Bruin with Coach Cook, Season 4, Week 7. And Coach Cook, how are you doing this week? I know with my personal schedule, we didn't connect last week, but it's great to, resume this weekly cadence of Bruin football.
Yes, it is, man. I'm doing pretty good, Mark. I guess it was a little cold going around amongst, the everybody, September and October, but I feel a lot better. My energy is back, and I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Hey, I'm doing great, and last Friday, with our class scheduled 30 year reunion, Elizabeth and I supported that. That was here locally, and Coach E stopped in after the game, but a great road win for Bruin football there. Last Friday at Deep Creek.
Correct. And all I've been echoing is all we need is one.
Yeah.
All we need is one. And we've really coached those kids hard, Mark. Really forced them to get back to things we talked about, being physical and competition and learning how to compete at a high level. They did a good job playing together too, man. So that victory doesn't cure a lot of things, but it does make you feel a lot better. You feel good getting in that win column. And we share it with our guys that the details are in all things that we do. It's not just one big thing or one small thing. It's every move and everything we do as a program. So very proud of our young men and our coaching staff. We had to coach them hard all the way through a good Deep Creek football team and a rivalry. At that point, we told them you got to throw records out when you play each other like a school like Deep Creek or Western Branch, and our kids responded well.
Yeah, and the other thing is through huddle, looking at the highlights. When you talk about starting field position, and the opponent is deep in their own territory, the defense stood up. It was a combined sack there in the end zone, but nothing like getting a safety here.
Yeah.
2 points on the Western Branch side.
Hey man, when you got teams deep in their own territory, it makes play calling hard, but it allow defensive coordinators to pin their ears back and just play. Play. You got plenty more room to recover if something big happened. But our kids found a way to make a way, put pressure on a quarterback and get a tackle. I can't say all the guys that were involved, but I know Muddy was an integral part of that, and Dayon Curry bringing pressure, and our backers and our D tackles. So our guys did a great job. Getting those two hidden points. You don't get those, then it's tied up. It could be 16-16, looking at some of the dynamics of the game.
Yeah, and the thing is when you talk about not bringing up individual
Yeah,
players, that's understandable, because one person could bring the pressure and then make the quarterback move, but then the other side is right there. So definitely, with watching the highlights, definitely a team effort. And there on the offensive side, I saw quite a few runs
yeah.
that after the first hit, they were still running.
And that was the difference maker. We knew D Creek had a solid defense. Obviously, they were big up front, and we matched up well with our size and theirs. But backs that could lower that shoulder, man, and get the rack yards or yak yards, if that makes sense. Yards after contact,
Yeah.
not rack. But they did everything we asked, and very pleased with how they protected the football. We did a good job in that category. We only had one turnover, where turnovers has plagued us throughout the season. We only turned the ball over where we fumbled, but we recovered our own ball. But outside of that, those guys ran hard. Makari Brown Porter, Dayon Curry, did a phenomenal job running and stepping up for us. And even Tyson Holland got a couple of carries. But we were very pleased with the running back by committee last Friday night.
Yeah, and even the long run. I mean, when you break through and you got a 40, 50 yards, okay, it is the kid's speed, but on that 70-yard touchdown run, I mean those first 10, 15
Yeah,
yards, they were tough, and we talk about it in other shows, but you can't have the successful runs unless you have the guys up front.
correct. And we highlighted Ethan Dixon on that 70-yard touchdown. He led up to the backer. Backer was going with Florida play, and Ethan sealed the hole. And
Right.
ironically, our skilled guy cut right off of his block, and the rest was history. We
Yeah.
saw the speed, we saw the explosiveness, and we saw the offense come back to life. It's been that end zone had a seal on it, Mark, for several weeks. Man, it was like we couldn't crack the seal or crack that line. But we finally got it done, man. Got in the box multiple times, and to me, that gave our defense the energy they needed to go out there, get a stop, and get the ball back. And they went against a pretty good game plan, but Coach Black had a good game plan and match it. Their goal was to control the clock, keep our offense off the field, and with a team that really runs heavy, you gotta execute. You can't let them, much like a Hickory. Hickory kept the ball on the ground, kept the clock moving, and with explosive offenses, their goal is to keep you off the field. But we got it done. Very pleased with our guys and our defensive staff and team as a whole. So definitely enjoying where we are, man. Mark, I got one of the best views right now.
Yeah.
Changed my location. I'm in the,
Right.
I'm in the press box, man.
Yeah.
Watching the
Nice.
guys go through their ghost game,
Right.
and we're talking about our Bruins, man. It's just awesome right now.
Right. No, that's great, and I know this platform has been a great setting, but and technology is good, but I
Yes.
know in past shows, some on my end, sometimes we have that disconnect, and
Yep. Yep.
I know one time here recently, you did the second half of the show. They're outside,
Yeah.
so yeah, just any way to look out and watch them practice and have good connection during the episode.
Absolutely. But, for me, just as a coach, I'm watching them. And it's like the things we are prepared throughout the week, you're seeing it come to life. You're seeing it from a different angle.
Right.
And, the word that we've kept emphasizing is execution, winning our reps. So I'm excited about what I'm seeing out here, but also excited to talk to you and talk Bruin football on homecoming weekend,
Yeah,
man. It doesn't
that's
get any better.
no. And the thing is, I mean, there when we played Hickory, I mean, I know because of that concert, the
Yeah.
game was moved to Thursday night, but I had Kevin Cox out of the class of '84,
Yeah.
just already talked to me about October 18th. So,
Yes.
I know with homecoming week and floats, parades, I mean, does the school even have a pep rally in the morning with it
Oh,
being
man.
homecoming?
Tomorrow's gonna be controlled chaos. You know it. We're gonna be in school. Obviously, instructional time is important. So I don't want to
Right.
paint a picture that academics is not key, or
Yeah.
we as colleagues or employees are putting things to the side. But it's a good excitement in the air. So we will have a pep rally. That pep rally will be a little bit later in the afternoon.
Oh, okay.
But it's gonna be hopefully one of the bigger ones that we've had. A lot of excitement. Even last year, Miss Williamson did a phenomenal job putting it together. So we're excited about that. But I've shared with our guys, enjoy this week. Enjoy all the stories, the rich history. Enjoy everything that makes Western Branch what it is. But we are the entertainers on Friday night. Like
Right.
that, let's not forget that. Everything ends with Western Branch Bruin football. So they've done a good job keeping that focus, but still understanding that there are things throughout the week and throughout the school day that they want to do as kids and enjoy the high school experience. You got some guys running for homecoming king, so it's a lot of moving parts, man. But our kids have done a good job. Our coaches have done a good job this week preparing them, and I'm excited. But the other part to that is this is a different Great Bridge football team too.
Yeah.
It's they're very talented. They have skilled guys at the position. Their front plays scrappy. They get off well defensively. So it's not like this is just going to be an easy homecoming game. But we expect to play Bruin football and be explosive and really make it a game where they have to come and compete for us. But as we always say, Mark, and I will always say as a coach, I got nothing but tremendous respect, for every opponent we play. It's never a game where we feel or we should feel we walking in and it's just gonna be an easy victory. So our motto, all earned, not given, things we've said, cliche terms over the years. This game is important to have.
Yeah, and the thing is, you know, they I mean, they're they've they've lost four out of their last five, since they're not group six.
Mhm.
They played Lakeland last
Yeah,
last week. Lakeland doesn't play us,
right.
but the other thing is even off the field,
Right.
we got 10 fingers, but I want to say that there's more than 10 connections there between Great Bridge and Western Branch,
Right, right,
and the people that we know even when we were students
right,
at Western Branch
right.
High School. But we'll definitely highlight both principals.
Yeah,
They're
absolutely.
they're the opposite alums, but they're serving at Mr. Hicks at Western Branch and Mr.
Yeah.
Johnson at Great Bridge.
Yeah, insane, insane. So, one thing I'll tell you, let's be careful because
Yeah.
if we forget somebody, we may
Right.
get a text message or a DM, right? But yeah, we'll start with those two. Just phenomenal leaders. Both having ties, both having connections too, though.
Yeah.
It's like when Mr. Hicks was at Great Bridge, he remembers the Western Branch, football games, and him and Coach Thomas are real good friends. And Mr. Hicks has been by my side since he's taken this job, so awesome guy. And then Mr. Johnson just understands what it takes to be a Bruin. But I say that understanding his leadership role respectfully at Great Bridge as well, and the support he has for those student athletes and those kids. But it's just gonna be an exciting night, and during our time, me coming into high school 30 years ago, get ready to make that transition or already transitioned. And what's insane is that that was a rivalry game. And
Yeah.
I still look at it the same, regardless of record. Those guys are gonna come in and we need to come in ready to rock and roll and compete for four quarters. But I remember those years of when Kadire was playing and everybody, Lee felt like all those guys, man, just a lot of good talent on both sides of the ball. And they were big up front then, and they're big up front now, and they trusted what they did. So I'm excited. It feels good to be back in the win column. It feels good to see our kids really earn something, and they know they went and got it. And my speech to them was last Friday after the game. You would think it would celebrate, but to kind of give you the wrap up of that speech, it was this is the standard.
Right.
This is the standard. It never took anything away from Deep Creek, but we can't celebrate until we consistently meet the standard. You know
Right.
what I mean? So our kids understood that, our staff understood that. I thank my staff, everyone individually, because it took all of us to coach these kids through versus the first four games that we had to start. And, just very happy to see those guys finally earn it and not make excuses, but get it done. So I'm excited about where we are. We can only get better, but we can't get complacent.
Right. And it goes back here to the motto that is definitely, no matter where you're playing, but it's definitely a popular motto, today. It's, go
Want to
1-0,
know?
you know,
Absolutely,
and
absolutely. But if you could remember, that motto was not built on the playoff mindset.
right,
That motto was built on in March. COVID came around and we were cut off. Like we could not talk. We were in a dead period, a indefinite dead period. So to get those guys back in August when we were finally able to work with them, it was building and reconnecting that relationship while building a winning mindset. But
yeah,
the winning mindset was you versus you. So
right,
every day you came to work out and condition and lift, that's a victory. The day you miss, that's a loss. Somebody got better. So that's where that 1-0 for us came. And our kids believed it. They bought into it. And then they understood that could be applied to our possessions, the individual play, the individual rep, all the things that make football what it is. And that hasn't left our brand, but I
right,
get exactly what you're saying. And that's all we wanted to do is just get one win.
yeah,
Just go 1-0 one time. But now it's time to build on it and not just assume it's going to be like that every single week. Go ahead. I'm
right.
sorry, Mark.
Oh, no, no, it's no, and I know last year we played Deep Creek,
Hmm.
at homecoming, and but definitely, and the other thing is when you play within your city, I mean, you want to talk about you know, rivalry. I
Yeah.
mean, nothing
Yes.
against other schools there in the district, but when we were growing up,
Yep.
Great Bridge, Western Branch rivalry in football, wrestling, baseball,
Yeah. Yeah.
basketball,
Yeah. Yep.
track. I mean, so definitely, Great Bridge, Western Branch, definitely long history rivalry.
Long history rivalry. I think Coach Jay might have played a little part into it as well. Uh, and just like you said, a rivalry, right? And then on top of that, Deep Creek. That was for all the marbles. Like
Right.
either Richie Babb or
Yeah.
whoever would say, Smacky Stat. Somebody will say, "Hey, man, this game is for all the marbles." But
Right.
the end that game at week 10 or week 11, whichever one. If we played week 0, we get the numbers. But that game decided the district champion. That
Yeah.
game also versus Deep Creek decided who would be going to the playoffs and who were turning themselves in at the end of the game. So, and Deep Creek had our numbers for at least 4 years, 5 years. And then, come around 97, we started to turn the corner. And, Coach Jay, credit to him and his coaching staff and the guys that came behind us. Guys like Randy Granderson, David Johnson kept the torch going, and uh, uh, just big time players, man, is just left it on the field, made plays, and that's what made West Branch and our rivalry with Deep Creek what it is and so explosive. But it's good to see. I'll say this too, with Hickory doing well and Grassfield making every game or pretty much a lot of games competitive, and Great Bridge competing. The parity of the league has gotten a lot better. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's not so lopsided or top sided, for lack of better terms. And that's pretty good. It's good to
Right.
know. It's good to see.
And to all the listeners out there, I mean, you know, Western Branch is Group Six, Grassfield's Group Six, Oscar Smith's Group Six, and it just so happens that the way our schedule is, even though they're in our district, we don't play the schools for Group Six until the
Right.
last two games of the season.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you know what? That's probably a good thing. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because if you drop any, mentally, it's like, all right, where are we gonna be each week? But we can only control what we can
Right.
control, Mark. And I guess it may be by design that we are, the last two games of the year to kind of see where the playoff brackets will be. But our goal is just to get through Great Bridge and not look too far down the road. And we'll see, how things look week in and week out. Their schools, in Richmond that dropped a game or two that maybe people weren't expecting for them to drop. Some of the top tier guys. So we'll see. We just go keep working, and
Yeah.
we feel like we got a good game plan offensively, defensively, and special teams this week coming in. We want to keep the game fun for the guys, but still be competitive. And I was just like I said, I'm watching the field get painted by a turf tank. Our booster club invested in a turf tank this year that makes the lines a lot more straighter than we did. And our paint crew, I appreciate the paint crews that we've had, but it's just neat just sitting up here and being able to watch these guys get coached through and kind of go through their pregame practice and just watching a lot of things because tomorrow, man, it's going to be electric in this stadium, Mark. We're honored to be a part of the parade tomorrow. This is our third year.
Oh, okay.
COVID didn't allow it, but I believe since 2021, so this will be our third year. But in COVID fall and COVID spring, we didn't have a homecoming, so we came out of that when kind of school and football was somewhat working back into 100% in person. And, it's just fun to watch the community come out, the little Bruins,
Yeah.
future Bruins that are excited, and just our boys actually see what it takes to be a Bruin, the history of it, the fans and family members. So it's going to be fun tomorrow. I just got to get the kickoff. That's it. I just got to
Yeah.
get the kickoff. Go ahead.
And the thing is I know with both of our schedules and with technology, some of it is good to be able to find, but it's kind of hard here to go back in time,
Yeah.
because technology wasn't as it is now
Right.
when we were growing up.
Hey,
But
that's a good thing, Mark.
right, yeah, that is a good thing. But
I'm just
with our
teasing. I'm
Bruin
just
segment,
teasing.
yeah, with our Bruin segment, and with
Yeah.
it being homecoming week, I
Yes.
mean, I would like to point out Coach Arculin, that just recently got honored by the Chesapeake Sports Club, and he's one that, come to find out, he's a Churchland alum,
Uh-huh.
and when he was done with college, Mr. Brander brought him over,
Wow.
to teach and be and given the keys to lead Bruin football.
Real football. Wow, such a great guy. Huge honor for him. Has always been positive.
Yeah,
Always gave empowerment and encouragement since I've been the head coach of this of our program, Western Branch High School, and just what an honor, to see him still be around. We know he lives several hours away, but
yeah,
frequently visits it during the good weather months.
right.
But just awesome, man. Very happy for him. Congratulations, coach, and keep making impacts in our community. Absolutely.
And I wouldn't be surprised with it being homecoming, or with it being a home game. I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up on the sidelines there
Hey, look,
tomorrow.
I'm not putting any pressure on him. I expect him to be there. I mean, so Coach Jay a couple weeks ago, or maybe a week ago, big hug, Coach, this is the first time in my life I've ever sat in the stands and just watched football. So
Yeah,
I would not be surprised. It's good to see our coaches that have paved the way still come around and still be a part, even if it's a smaller role or lesser role, still be a part of what we do. And those guys are why we're in the position we're in. And I think it's the stair step to it all. But for me, Coach R. Keelan, Coach Bright, Coach Jay, Coach Mike Santamaro, just a lot of great coaches that have come through here and have really made impacts. And there's many, many more. Like I said, I don't want to get caught up in the name game and we leave out one. And, Coach Sam Warren. And so the list could keep going. So I'm gonna stop there and just tell all the coaches that have been a part of my upbringing here in our Western Branch community and have been a part of so many others that have come through this program, lives, empowering them, impacting their lives. That's just a big thank you. Absolutely.
Well, and the other thing is with the namesake of the stadium, and I
Yes.
know I know why him and Mrs. Brander, did move down to Florida and
Uh-huh.
checked in with checked in with them there with the
Good.
storm, and they're
Yeah.
they're they're doing okay. They're about ready to get their power up, but just even the first guy,
Right.
that
Right. Right. Right.
that ended up, even a couple homecomings ago, a couple years back on this platform, ended up calling them and doing an interview with Mr. Brandriff, and
Yeah.
he even talked about how the colors even started with blue and gold, and it is 55 years
Wow.
from the first graduating class there
Wow.
when the doors opened there, class of '69.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, there's so much history. And I think our community is the story. You know what I mean? The history is our community, and our community is the story of what makes Western Branch Western Branch. We understand through the history that there was a annexation of another school to form Western Branch, right?
Right.
But at the end of the day, Western Branch community had to embrace the change, embrace the opportunity, and the west side of Chesapeake is to me has been one of the best places I could grow up and now be a leader in the community of.
And the thing is, since my brother, Mike Ragsdale, pitched for Stenko starting as a freshman there in spring of '88,
Uh-huh.
we would just talk about it in '89, lost a district tiebreaker to
Right.
Great Bridge, but the Chesapeake Clipper, it seemed like that it always reported the high school sports on the other side of the high rise.
Right, right, right. I remember the Clipper, man. You took it back. Is it still open? The Clipper is still current?
I don't know, because the thing is with what Jamie and Larry do and their
Hmm.
team with having a 757 teams newsletter. I
Right.
mean, Elizabeth and I, we get online
Yeah. Yeah.
paper,
Gotcha. Yeah. So the Clipper for us, man, that was your all city team. That was your all city team. I mean, even the junior high. I know for me, it was
Yeah.
junior high. One year. What year was I can't remember what year, but it was junior high, and I just had my sixth grade graduation, getting ready
Okay.
to go to junior high, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden they made it middle school, which is fine. I mean, it's been adapted amongst the United States, but for some states, but for me, that's where city football went.
Right.
That's where your Parks and Rec games went. It was the Chesapeake, platform to really promote and highlight. Again, all city players. I think I may still have the articles,
Yeah.
in regards to the Clippers. So, but that's awesome, man. That is awesome.
Mhm.
But I'm excited. Like I said, just it's homecoming. Our kids, this is something they will never forget. Our senior
Right.
class, this is why they come back to their 10-year reunion. This is why they come back to their 20, because of the bond and relationship they built, um, around this moment, this day, this week. And you see so many that come back to support and so many that come back and reminisce. And they bring families back too. So it's awesome. It's a great feeling.
Yeah, and you know what? Before we leave the Bruin Throwback Thursday moment,
Okay.
I mean, a classmate of mine and Eric's, Thomas Wilson, and he was MIA at our reunion. The dude was out in Boulder, Colorado.
I seen it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
saw it. I
yeah,
saw it.
yeah.
Talk about technology, right?
Right,
I
right,
mean, again, another legend, another, just 80. He made, and correct me if I'm wrong with the jersey number,
right,
but he made 89 look cool, with the
right.
horse collar. And not only that, but he had the skill to go with it, and,
Yes,
just talk about some Bruin greats, man. It's just awesome to see. But yeah, he was out there in Boulder. That's got to be a great experience, in my humble opinion. Being out there and just taking in that atmosphere the way Coach Prime is really created that energy. I used to like Buffalo in the '90s when they
Yeah.
had Cordell Stewart
All right.
and Michael
Michael West.
Westbrook. I mean, back then, if you were a football player, you loved football, and those
Yeah.
guys obviously went on to have potentially, Hall of Fame careers. But Eric Bieniemy, you
Yeah.
talked about some guys in Colorado back in '94, '95 that could really go get it. So a lot of good in regards to, seeing Bruins get abroad and go take experiences that others may not. But just really, really happy for Thomas. He's been connected with me since I've gotten a job, and before that as well. With his son, a big talent coming out, I believe, Indian River High
Yeah.
School. He played quarterback and ended up going to either Norfolk State or some other schools and having
Right.
a good career there. So definitely, Bruins are Bruins, man. We
Yeah.
really stick together. We pull for one another, and that's what the family should always be about here at Western Branch.
Yes, yeah, and before we close up, I did see the Booster Club, and I did see
Yes,
the football Facebook page share it. That looks like there's going to be a post game um, dinner there at
yep.
Big Woody's there
Okay,
after the
yep.
game.
Yep. Y'all enjoy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Y'all enjoy.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
I think it is. Again, I support everything the Booster Club has done. Miss Parker has done a phenomenal job, assisted with so many others to her left and right. Miss Ann Bartow has been, just I can reach out to her and she'll get it done or make sure we can work it out. So it's so many people to name that have really stepped forward for us to get this program right where we need to be and right where we want to be in regards to giving these young men the best high school experience. And I just appreciate that Booster Club. There are a lot of high schools that don't have it, and they're trying to figure out how we take this small budget and we stretch it as far as we can. With our Booster Club and our school and our community, they've done everything they can to make sure our boys here at Western Branch, both JV and varsity, gets the best high school experience. And I'm forever thankful for that.
yeah. Well, hey, Rashad,
Yes, sir.
I know that there's been some weeks here that we haven't connected, but definitely great here to reconnect, especially on
Yes.
homecoming week. So go. Let's see. JV goes out to
Yes.
Great Bridge Middle tonight, as Great Bridge High School is similar to Deep Creek,
Yeah.
where forever they have the football field there at the middle school
Middle
ground.
school. Yep.
So and Coach Duncan doing a great job there
Yes,
at
he is.
JV.
Yes, he is. That's on and off the field. And I shared this with Coach when he first got the job. I said, man, X's and O's, that's what we love to do. That's the easy part. It's everything else that comes with it. It's managing your roster, it's making sure kids are doing what they got to do on and off the field. And I would say, he's done a phenomenal job in that role as well. It's just the same as the student athlete, right? You got to win in the classroom just like you got to
Yeah,
win on the field. As a head coach of a program or a head coach of in a leadership role of a JV program, winning on the field is key, but also making sure our guys are doing what they need to do in the community and in the classroom as well. Trumps, just how good you could coach, and he's done a phenomenal job. What an awesome hire to fill some big shoes in Coach Thomas, and Coach E is right by his side, but Coach E has done everything that I would need. In regards to the associate head coach position and trying to make sure that the program is um, operating the way it should. So, I mean, a lot of great people in my circle, a lot of great people on our staff and my staff, and we're just excited. But I'm pulling for Coach Duncan.
yeah,
Excited about him getting another win. We always say this, Mark. If only people knew what it takes to get the kickoff. So
yeah.
he got about an hour or
Right.
so, and that ball will be total leather. So I'm excited, man. Robbie's done a great job, has really made that offense fun and explosive. as it's a mirror of what we do on the varsity level. Maybe a week behind, sometimes a week ahead, but
Mhm.
he gets it done. So really pleased with him and happy where he is.
Yeah, and the thing is we are middle of October, and finally, I think consistent football weather is here.
Yes, it is. Like tomorrow, today is a little cool,
Right,
60. Tomorrow it's going to be around 66 when the
right,
sun is up,
right,
right? But I think it's going to drop in the 40s. So bring a blanket,
right,
bring something light to cover it, cover up, or a jacket. But I think with the energy that our Bruin Nation is going to bring tomorrow, and the amount of people that are going to come out and support, it's going to be nice and warm in the den.
right. Yeah, yeah. And I saw, Jamie and Larry and their team ended up doing highlight of concession stands.
Yes.
And I saw that the Bruin Bistro,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
made the list.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. That's pretty
So,
cool. Yep. Yep.
but all right, Rashad, and for all the fans out there, why go home after the parade? I
Yeah.
mean, just beat the crowd and come on in. Just hang out after the parade and get ready for the show there, 7 o'clock, and then the homecoming king and queen there at halftime,
Correct.
and the varsity team hosting Great Bridge.
Correct. Yes. And one more shout out. Our Booster Club will be selling food at the away concession stands.
Okay.
Chick-fil-A will be one of the main menus. And, it's so awesome about the school community. The Chick-fil-A cow from our local Chick-fil-A will be out here at least for our first half or maybe the whole game. But,
Okay.
please, if you can, come on over. All proceeds go to the Booster Club. All the proceeds go right back into our young men and young ladies that are a part of this football program and coaching staff. So definitely, if you can, that'll be awesome.
And a little shout out also here for the community that earlier this month, 35 years ago, Chesapeake Square opened its doors, and
Wow.
Sean Hess, who's the operator of the outdoor, Chick-fil-A,
Correct.
was the operator there of Chick-fil-A there at the food court there when
At
they
Chesapeake Square.
opened up the stores there in '89.
Correct. I totally forgot about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
Sean has been
yeah,
great. He's been supportive, as you know, over the years. And
yeah.
I don't know which one we're getting it from. So I don't want to kind of overgive credit where it is. But we're just
Right,
thankful for where we are and what our community has been able to do. Again, Mark, I'm watching the guys kind of almost wrap up their ghost game and just seeing a lot of kids loose and, happy with energy and that's how it should be. That's what Bruin
right.
football should
And,
be.
and of course, the ice cream truck is definitely with the Bruin
Yes,
alum there. Greg, I know that he shows up at home games.
he'll be there tomorrow. I'm pretty sure. I'm
So,
pretty sure.
but
Yep.
all right,
All
Rashad.
right.
Well, hey,
Yep.
man, thanks again, and go Bruins, and appreciate your time.
Hey, happy homecoming. Happy homecoming reunion weekend. And hopefully, we do what we need to do and send you off to a Friday evening into Sunday smiling. But
Right,
I really appreciate your platform. I'm glad we're able to get back where we need to be and hopefully consistently we could get through the rest of the season with no hiccups and or scheduling conflicts. And I appreciate you, Mark, man. So
sure.
really enjoy it. I'll see you Friday night, buddy.
Yep. All right. Friday
All right.
night lights, and go Bruins.
Go Bruins.